saw Superman. I've been seeing sort of like some discourse about the film, which is interesting because the thing I was hearing about it was like Superman says free Palestine, and he's, and it's not, and the Zionists were mad that it wasn't very pro-Israel, and I was seeing some right-wingers be upset by it, and I thought that was fascinating. So I went and saw it, and I can say without a doubt that Superman is probably the most fuck Israel movie I've seen in any genre in a while. Unless you consider like Zone of Interest a commentary on that as well, which it kind of was. That's probably a little bit more, but also it was more about the Nazis. But like I mean, not joking, like Superman is pretty much like one of the biggest scenes in it at the very beginning is him essentially arguing for the morality of the humanity of Palestinians, although not using Palestinians by name or Israel by name. So anyway, before we get into the meat of that, I wanted to see Ben Shapiro's take on it as a right-wing Zionist fundamentalist guy, and also I guess better than Michael Knowles, who is a boring guy who we're not going to watch. We'll talk about it. I think he's going to get into some spoilers here, so if you care about that, I mean, I guess you can bail at whenever you feel like it. But I'm going to be honest. I don't think I could ruin the movie for you, even if I told you every single thing that happens in it, because there's not really any like twists and turns in the way that a spoiler would ruin the movie for you. I think the movie is an experience of the character. Like, to experience what this new Superman is like is worth it, even if you find out what happens in the movie. Because, like, and I'm usually a pretty anti-spoiler guy. You can ask Sarah. Like, I don't fucking like that. Like, do not spoil stuff for me. I don't think this can be spoiled for you.
My wife and I always have an interesting time watching movies together, because when I go, I'm very analytical about what I think of the movie.
As a failed screenwriter, I'm very analytical about other movies with lots of success. James Gunn, who has been successful at every turn of his fucking career in the last decade and a half, I'm going into this saying, like, I don't know, buddy. I could probably do a better job.
Cool, man.
My wife sort of gets an overall gestalt, and it's mostly like, that was fun. And so my wife's review was, that was fun. And I think most people who come away from the movie will probably do the that was fun thing. And that seems to be what the people are saying. People are generally liking the movie. They think it's fun. They think it's kind of a kick. David Cornsweet is charming.
I would say, do you want to know what I think? This 82 popcorn meter, is it a good theater experience? And this is like, how much of a film is it? Like, are we on gradients now? I will say this is probably exactly how I feel. You know what was refreshing about this fucking movie that I didn't realize I wanted until I got it from this? This is not trying to win any Oscars or anything. This isn't trying to win an award. It is just a very good movie. And in the way that, like, Marvel got into itself that way, where sometimes they would make, like, this really good banger, and then in general they thought they had to do that instead of just making the superhero movies. This is like the most superhero movie, comic book movie I've ever seen. I'm not joking when I say this is like as comic book as it's ever been in live action. This has comic book vibes in a good way. Sam Raimi, I bet loves this kind of shit. I think though, if you like Sam Raimi movies, you will really like this, because it's frankly, I think James Gunn makes better stuff than Sam. Although I do like all Sam's weird shit.
People are saying, people are generally liking the movie. They think it's fun. They think it's kind of a kick. David Cornsweet is charming. He has good physical presence.
I don't like this AI corn sweat stuff that's happening. What is it? Now you're using AI? Ugh. We're never going to get away from this shit. We need to liberate humanity from itself in regards to its dependence on automating stuff like this.
I didn't mind him as Superman at all. Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane was fine. I thought she was great. I thought both of them had good chemistry. I thought all of that was fine.
This scene right here. So this is like very early on in the movie. Maybe the first major scene with Superman in it, or I guess Clark. I like the opening of this. You have to spend an hour on the origin story because we all kind of get it. So I appreciate how James Gunn handles the pacing of the early movie, and this is a really good scene because they're basically having like journalistic back and forth about a political situation, and I think they both act so great in this. And Superman's character, not just the character Superman, but like his ethical makeup, his character is like so pure, and it's like good in a sense that is so not cynical. Like when positioned against cynical characters like that are pushing back against Superman's worldview in the movie, like it just comes like it's so refreshing. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I think you should go see this movie. This is what I mean. It's very idealistic. I like it a lot.
And then there is the analysis. So, my overall review of Superman. Superman is super meh. It's meh. Okay, so
meh? He can't like anything. To validate someone like James Gunn and his art is to validate like part of the worldview. And like obviously the message of the movie, if you watch it, is like, hey, goodness is good and being kind is good and valuing life, human or otherwise, is a good thing. And we should, sometimes you got to use violence to make sure that good people are protected. But also not compromising on your values in pursuit of that. Very, very good.
So all the people who are getting super exercised over the politics, and we'll get to the politics a little bit later on.
The politics are pretty simple, which I think is very fun.
I think that they are overestimating how much politics is in this. I think they're deliberately misinterpreting some of the...
James Gunn said there was politics in this, and there are politics in this. I don't think it's like a political movie in that like every moment is talking about the politics of a thing, but like you can see the pretty obvious, like, I mean, he's a journalist. It's about a political thing, and Lois is chasing the story, and it's got wacky, comic book stuff.
The politics that are in there. This is not a movie about illegal immigration. It's not a movie about ICE, Russia, Ukraine, Israel, the Palestinians.
It kind of is about all of those things, actually.
There may be references there if you have politics on the brain, but other than that, I really don't think that there's that much of this there. That is not my overall problem.
How much Popo in the movie? So much Popo. Very good boy. Very good bad boy. It's the best. It's the best. If you like dogs, you should go watch this movie.
With the movie. My overall problem with the movie is that you are taking the most iconic American IP of all time, Superman, which is to be treated with a certain level of respect. That doesn't mean it has to be grand mythology the way that Zack Snyder wants to do. Like, my standard for Superman is not Man of Steel. My standard for Superman movies is 1978 Richard Donner, the best version of Superman. It just is. Overall, here is my problem. James Gunn is the wrong director, writer, creator for this thing.
Fully disagree. It's the best on-screen depiction of Superman in live-action form, for sure. It is wholesome. This is why Ben can never break into Hollywood. Exactly. Like Man of Steel. Man of Steel is... Frankly, I think Man of Steel is worse with age.
Nothing. I love salami.
Because of what he does later with the Justice League stuff. But I think as a standalone, it wasn't that bad if the commentary was about Superman not really being responsible with his power. But it was like grimdark. I don't know. I really like the positive tone of this movie.
I saw Chewbacca on the cover of People magazine. I was like, oh my God.
He's just wrong for it. It's Guardians of the Galaxy with Superman in it.
I don't think that's the case. It does not feel like Guardians of the Galaxy at all. Does he just not understand what the DC universe is like? It's a comic book.
And so that means it's all kind of a mess? It's an overstuffed movie in every way. It's visually overstuffed. In terms of plot, the plot holes are big enough to drive a truck through them. There are character problems. And all of it is just kind of wrapped around this gauzy, fast-paced, jokey tone.
I don't think there's plot holes. Hopefully he'll talk about them. He probably just doesn't remember what happened in the movie. But the jokey tone, like it's a comic book movie. It's fun. Do you not have jokes in life? I have a jokey ass fucking life. Also made you tear up, dude. James Gunn does a great job of like building characters and then having emotional moments and the ebb and flow in that.
That doesn't mesh with Superman as central part of Americana to me. James Gunn's sensibility is always to be subversive. That is what he does. He does subversive in Guardians of the Galaxy, right? He takes a comic book movie and he turns it into sort of a potty-mouthed sitcom.
Don't
What?
drink fountain water, you idiot. That's disgusting.
Potty-mouthed? Sitcom? I just don't even understand what he thinks comic books are. Has he read them? Probably not.
And he does the same thing with Suicide Squad. He takes that same sensibility, and now he's doing that with Superman.
Superman robots, I thought I told you to keep an eye on him.
We feed the canine, but he is unruly. And he realizes we are not flesh and blood and couldn't, in our heart of hearts, care less whether he lives or dies.
And
I like the robots. I like them. Yeah, it's really good. Why are you showing the Zack Snyder one? Do you like this one?
I get that after the interpretation of the Snyderverse is over serious, he's reversing himself into completely the opposite direction. But
I don't agree. It's not 100% in the opposite direction. The scene that he showed with Lois and him sitting there, that's a serious scene. It's got a little bit of levity in it, but not like above and beyond. It's a serious one. Like you come out of that thing and like, damn, I don't know if their relationship is gonna make it. Like, it's a good scene.
what that means is that he's constantly subverting everything.
I was raised with a dog that was my sister.
The very beginning of the movie, you are told that Superman is the most powerful metahuman, right? There's like a placard that says 30 years ago, the metahumans arrived. 3 years ago, Superman emerged. 3 weeks ago, there was an invasion. And now 3 minutes ago, Superman's ass got kicked.
I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
He's not very super.
What do you mean he's not very super? He's incredibly super. This is a good scene, by the way. I don't know what to tell you. He's doing Superman shit the whole fucking time. This man is saving everybody he possibly can at all times.
He is not the Man of Steel. He is not invulnerable. He gets his ass kicked routinely. He gets locked up in a prison with a character who's making kryptonite out of his hands.
Sorry, what?
He is constantly
I'm sorry, what? How's that I'm sorry, what? Entirely logical.
in victim mode. Like Green Lantern has much more success in this movie. Mr. Terrific.
I love showing that shot. Are they did they illegally rip some of this stuff, or is some of this online? Like, has this made it online? Anyway, so this is a scene where the Green Lantern is, along with his friends, killing IDF soldiers. So that was pretty sick. That was one of my favorite scenes in the movie. Literally, like
in this movie.
Yeah, great shot.
Mr. Terrific has much more success in this movie than Superman.
Yes, he's terrific. I don't know if he has more success than Superman. Superman is trying to do good at all times, and he is met with a world that does not do good at all times.
Superman's parents from Krypton, if you're going to go through the mythology, send him to Earth so that he can be a moral guide for people on Earth using his great powers to stop evil from happening to them. In this movie, his parents from Krypton send him there. This is the big revelation of the movie. His parents send him there.
Mr. Terrific is awesome. This is not the big revelation of the movie. This is like one of the revelations of the movie, and it is like not even like it's part of this plot to like essentially cancel Superman. Lex Luthor is using his wealth and influence to try to sway public opinion against Superman so that he can figure out a way to kill him and like do it. Superman gets bodied often. Why? Because he, and I quote, feels like he lives in a world made of cardboard, so he's trying not to destroy the fucking earth, so he's being careful. You twat waffle. That's part of it. He's also, there's great fight scene with the kaiju essentially, and Superman spends most of the fight trying to save everyone from the collateral damage. It's like the exact opposite of the Man of Steel fights.
To dominate the life on Earth as an alien invasion, essentially, and to create a harem of Earth women to have his many babies.
Well, sign me up.
So immediately,
Well, sign me up. What the fuck? Why did the editor do that? What?
you're taking the expectation of what you know about his Krypton parents and flipping it on its head. His parents.
Yeah. This is a really funny part of the movie, by the way. So, essentially, there's a disinformation campaign sent by Lex Luthor out about Superman, and they're saying crazy shit about an immigrant and why he should be not allowed to do the things he's doing. It's pretty classic stuff. It's akin to like similarly bad-hearted, I guess. It's like they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats.
Ma and Pa Kent. In the original, they are noble and they are wise. They're kind of salt of the earth. Here, they're basically kind of, I don't know, like down home types who don't seem to, they live in a kind of a crappy house.
Oh my God, they live in a crappy house. It's a farmhouse? It's a crappy house. Dude, he's so fucking classist. They're just farmers, and they have a nice, beautiful house. It's like a nice country home. Fucking holy shit. A crappy house. Because they go in and outside a lot, and they work on a farm. Ridiculous.
The kind of people who call the TV the box. They're the kind of folks who are sitting around and you know, kind of scratching their butts. They're purposely cast as ugly and non-noble.
Ugly and non-noble? What the fuck? They were cute. What? Ugly? What the fuck? This old couple? I'm sorry, they weren't sexually stimulating for you, Ben Shapiro. I just do not agree that they were ugly at all. Like, what? Or noble. They're literally Clark's moral center. And like, what you learn is that yes, he is Superman, and he is the idea of like a supreme being that like Hitlerites and them are kind of portraying themselves as. He actually does embody that, but instead of being a psycho that takes over the world with his iron fist, he is a nice guy who just really loves people and life and goodness and kindness. And his parents are the people that taught him to live that way. And it's part of his nature, right? Like, it's just part of, like, who he is. He's most comfortable that way. And they instilled this in him. It's doubly, like, just kindness is a good virtue. It must be so sad to be Ben Shapiro.
Doesn't mean everything they say is bad. It is.
Got a little fresh little piggy here.
Goddamn right, Dr. Gamble. Thank you.
And by the way, both of them are alive in this, right? The original Superman mythos is that Pa Kent dies. And that's what sends Superman on his journey. Anyway, Crypto. The super dog.
I don't think your dad has to die for you to be like, I'm very powerful, I should help people. I'm pretty sure that was also, isn't that like just Zack Snyder's shit?
Is a terrible dog. Is a dog that does not...
He is a terrible dog! Yeah, but he's a good boy too.
Like an idiot dog. Like, way worse than my dog, Happy. My dog, Happy, way better than this dog, and my dog makes trouble. This dog is a mess. And so you end up with this sort of ADHD film where a bunch of things are going on at the same time, but you never get a good, interesting perspective on anybody who's in the film.
ADHD film? There's Superman, and then there's the lowest B plot. There is nothing else. I would say the Supergirl thing is like one of the only things that I would consider spoilery.
So Green Lantern is there, and he's kind of just a schmuck, and he's there.
Yes, he is a schmuck. Yes! This is Guy Gardner, right? Yeah. This is Guy Gardner. This is like part of his thing, man. He's kind of a dork. Also, I appreciate you showing him smashing the shit out of IDF soldiers again. That's nice.
As comic relief.
Thank you.
And then you have Mr. Terrific, who's the actual hero of the film.
He is genuinely one of... Yeah, I mean, he's a hero of the film, for sure. Mr. Terrific is terrific. That's the whole point. He's cool as fuck. I really like this character. At first, you're like, kind of a dorky character. And then that's like the point, right? He's not as dorky as you thought. He did the same thing with Polka Dot Man in Suicide Squad, where you're like, oh, Polka Dot Man, kind of dorky. And then you like see it, and it's like, well, it's kind of, it's a lot more going on there. And then Superman's supposed to be a new hero anyway. Like 3 years. 3 years of being Superman or so. Or at least revealing himself as such. And also, superhero groups are like Ben said at the beginning. There's a thing that says like 30 years ago, metahumans sort of like came onto the world, so people like know about them, and they've been a thing. Superman is not the first superhero, and he's just the most powerful. And then corporations and stuff sponsor them and stuff.
Who you learn nothing about other than he's just kind of a noble do-gooder fellow, and you have all these
a noble do-gooder. Okay, he doesn't pay attention. He is not portrayed as a noble do-gooder. He does this because it's part of his job, and I think he has, like, frankly, I think he has an ego about being badass. Like, that's his thing. That's part of it.
superheroes who are wandering around.
Yeah, they're very
and you never
cool.
get any information about them that makes them interesting or sympathetic or even particularly cool. But
What do you mean? What am I supposed to? What does he want? Origin stories for them too?
you don't know the motivations.
It's called Superman. They're other characters. All he's saying is, man, the world that James Gunn has set up is so filled with characters that I want to know more about and I didn't get to. That's a bad thing. Okay.
Of any of the villains, except for Lex, who it turns out is just really kind of jealous of Superman because Superman has superpowers.
Lex Luthor has always been jealous of Superman because he has superpowers, and Lex Luthor has always had to be like this guy who's like, I feel like I'm really smart and I'm trying to do all this stuff and I'm going to be like president of the whole wide world, take it over. And then Superman just continues to cuck him. Yeah, this has just like always been his character. Thank you, Ben.
And Lex is like, I'm really smart, and Superman is really strong, so why do people like Superman more than they like me? Which is a pretty boring motivation to be.
Yeah, ego is a boring motivation. It's a very common supervillain archetype because our real-life supervillains are kind of just like boring dorks.
Be frank. So the character.
The guy, it's like Elon Musk and Zuckerberg and stuff, except he's actually competent.
Characters are complete pastiches. They're just cardboard cutouts. Even the moments that are supposed to hit don't hit because there's so much going on in the background because James Gunn cannot control his ADHD. He just cannot.
I think he was pooping his brains out for the next 36 hours.
There's a scene where Clark and
Lois are having a conversation and there's stuff going on in the background.
They've had a fight and now they're back together and they're having a talk. And it's supposed to be this very intimate talk where they're speaking with each other. And literally
This is a great scene. It's not ADHD. It is funny. It is serious, and it shows kind of like how Clark or Superman in general sort of manages what tasks he approaches that he thinks is like important, and what kind of things that Superman is out there actually trying to do, because he can't literally be everywhere at once, right? So I think it's interesting to get a piece of his mindset in this, because in the background, what is happening here is there's some not told about threat, this thing. He mentions what it is, but I don't remember. Interdimensional something. The Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, and Mr. Terrific are all out here handling it. And he's like, oh, they got that. I'm more interested in like finding my dog. And she's having a serious discussion with him about it. And like, it's good, man. This is a good scene.
outside the window, Green
40 Superman even.
Lantern and Mr. Terrific and Hawkgirl are fighting a gigantic sort of eye monster that looks like it's from Suicide Squad.
Stop it right there, Joker.
What?
It's
What are they doing? What bit is this?
extremely distracting because he's James Gunn and everything has to be some sort of dumb joke. You're like, well, shouldn't Superman be doing something about it? No, let them handle it. Again, that's irritating. As far
It's irritating that Superman isn't solving every problem. He literally says they can handle it. It's like, it's so weird. Like, this is why you're not successful, Ben, at screenwriting. You're successful at being an idiot on the internet, a far right-wing one.
as the plot itself
Speaking of ADHD editing, Ben Shapiro's editing style, fucking true.
makes very little sense. The plot is basically that Lex Luthor has decided that he is going to make a deal with a foreign politician who the left wants to believe is both Vladimir Putin and Benjamin Netanyahu, but actually is just kind of nothing.
The left wants to believe? It's a pretty thinly veiled, like, they use Barovia as a sort of like Russian allegory, but also just like right-wing, autocratic, like fascistic empires. And it is having a border war with Jaranpur, which is definitely a bunch of like Muslim and Arab coded people, like very, I mean, it looks pretty Palestinian. That's by design. The crux of the thing is that Superman, a good guy who is just like, he's just like the Boy Scout. He sees an authoritarian regime victimizing citizens who aren't doing nothing wrong, and he goes and stops the situation, and then he gets political blowback from it. But his position is just, and stays the whole time, but they're killing people. I'm going to stop them from killing people. I don't care if there are political ramifications. I'm going to stop them from killing people. And so, because he's a hero, right?
Is going to invade another country, and Superman stops that invasion.
Tons of kids in Jaranpur. Oh, yeah, most of the people that are being fired on are kids or older guys.
Apparently, Lex wants to use this as
Like
an excuse to
families.
box up Superman, saying that he's running counter to American foreign policy. Now, we've seen that iteration in other movies. Right? That was in Batman versus Superman. You've seen it in other versions of the Superman story, but it's not really taken kind of to its ultimate extreme politically. In any case, it turns out that what he really wants is to annex half of this separate country. He's going to split it with this other dictator. One major plot hole. Lex Luthor is obviously the smartest person in the film. So smart, he can create his own universes. This is a major plot point. And he is concerned about a relatively small piece of land occupied by third worlders.
Ben! No! They explicitly talk about this. The plan is not because he cares so much about the third world land he's getting, which is just, he's continually racist. It's about splitting Superman's attention on something far away from where he wants Superman, his plan is. He's doing the whole thing for Superman, like to get to him. You're just a dumb guy. They literally, it's not, I mean, it is explicitly spoken out loud by multiple characters in 2 or 3 conversations. So how Ben missed this is fucking crazy to me.
This is his big plan. And later it turns
out
that he said, oh, no, I started that war just so that I could get people to turn against Superman. Okay, well, he does that halfway through the film. And then he jails him, and then he leaves him alive and explains this secondary plan that apparently was his primary plan, sort of. But he doesn't kill Superman at the time for a reason that remains undisclosed.
We hear that he killed 27 children, and you're always going to make mistakes, but that's how it is.
The entire plot is a complete mess. If you try to chart it, there's no way to do it because James Gunn doesn't care about plot.
He does care about plot. Shapiro, you're fucking exhausting. He has other things to gain through his conversation with Superman. You have to be stupid to not understand the plot. I'm sorry. Oh my god, yeah. I mean, it's pretty fucking explicit. He's like, you should just go watch the movie again. I think it's pretty obvious. He can't just kill Superman. It takes a long time for him to do that. Also, by the way, you can't just fucking be like, oh, I think Superman's dead. You have to do the damn thing. He has other ideas.
James Gunn doesn't care about characters. James Gunn cares about jokes and aesthetics. That's what James Gunn cares about.
Nobody cares anymore.
It's very difficult to make Clark a hero in a situation in which the plot is a complete mess. And again,
no, he's a hero the whole time.
And that's not a rip on Nicholas Hoult, who I love in everything. I think he's great. Or David Corenswet or Rachel Brosnahan. That's a rip on James Gunn as a script writer. It's just not a good script. Okay, we'll get to more.
Oh my god, it's not a good script. Ben Shapiro, failed script writer. Please take my advice.
All right, when I say a mess, I mean that the visuals are CGI vomit, complete CGI vomit. So James Gunn has an addiction to kind of gross and weird imagery, which doesn't really fit in the context of the, again, Americana.
It's gross and weird imagery.
Is Superman. And so there's some really gross and weird images, particularly in the Pocket universe, where you have characters who are turning themselves into weird tentacly octopuses.
It's gross because it's tentacly octopus. Oh, sorry, man. Maybe you're just not cut out for PG-13 movies. Maybe, I don't think it's gross. Maybe you should just, grow up or, go to stuff that's closer to your sensibilities. If you can't handle a little fiction with your fiction, I don't know what to fucking tell you, brother. That's crazy.
And you have people's eyes being attacked on a wide variety of... He has an obsession with eyes, James Gunn.
And it grosses you out when people's eyes are attacked?
And you can see it in Suicide Squad. He has an obsession with the eyeball being pierced. And it's very strange and off-putting.
Yeah, this is a crazy scene. This is cool. With eyes being pierced. Have you guys seen Suicide Squad? It's a good movie.
My wife was very off-put by a lot of this imagery. It feels like...
My wife was off-put by the rated R Suicide Squad gore. Shut up!
Psychedelic LSD CGI vomit is what it feels like for large portions of the film. You never really get a kinetic scene of Superman doing something cool. You
never get a kinetic scene of Superman doing something cool. The whole time he's doing cool shit. It's fucking Superman. He's gonna show you this scene right now. You see this toppling building falling down in a trap. What do you think's gonna happen, chat? What do you think Superman's gonna do with the falling building? Ever seen anything like this
multiple
before?
Scenes of giant heavy objects falling on Superman and Superman stopping the giant heavy objects from falling to save an individual.
Have you seen the 40s Superman cartoon? Do they have the one in the steel mill? or whatever with the volcano. Dude, he's stopping trains. This is literally him just stopping a train. The big hero moment is he stops a train. It's calling back to the old, like, Superman. A lot of the stuff he's doing is just like pulling something really heavy. This is the one I was thinking of right here. This one is crazy. This is my favorite Superman. Dude, we should watch this whole. Look at this. Look at the animation. Oh no, a volcano. Oh. Get out there, help him. Help him. He's fighting a volcano in this one. Lois Lane is there. Oh man, it's happening. Look at this. Stop the boulder. Wow. Anyway, so this kind of shit, literally these are what you're talking about. This is the kind of Superman stuff I've always known. He is spending most of his time trying to protect people. It's a glorious use of Superman. It's like way more interesting because Superman himself is not necessarily going to be hurt and killed. He just needs to be in the yellow sun and make sure that he can keep going. He needs a little breather every once in a while, but he's not in danger of like dying. Everybody else is, and he's worried about that.
Again, another plot hole. You'll have giant building. The entire building will fall, and he will stop the building from falling to save one person or a chipmunk who is in the way.
Yeah.
But it's an entire building full of people. So
nope, it wasn't. Anyway, so prior to that event, the city was literally evacuated. It was literally evacuated because they knew that there was a big fucking thing coming. There are people in the streets and stuff, but like they show intentionally people coming out of the building so that they can do this stuff.
Presumably all those people are dead.
Yeah, you would think so, but that's not what happened.
In any case, the visuals, I think, are a problem. The music, again,
I don't think they're a problem, especially on the big screen. In 4K, in basically IMAX is what we saw it in. It all looked good. Like, yes, there's CG, but like not in a way that I thought was necessarily bad.
John Williams is still alive. Just hire him to do your Superman movie, you stupid. Just stop.
What do you mean? His theme was in the movie.
Stop it.
Get some help.
I get very exercised. This is the only thing that really exercises me about this. John Williams, his original Superman score is one of the great scores in all of movie history. It is a phenomenal score, beginning to end. It may be John Williams' best score. I love that score so much. It is a great, great score. It is magic. And what do they do? They take the original theme and they play a few notes from it because it's so iconic, and then they underscore it with nothing, with like a pedal tone. It sucks. The music is awful. The score is terrible. Just
disagree. I don't need him out here working full time. Let him rest.
Play the original score.
It's a new movie. It's been fucking over 40 years? It's been a long time, man.
The original score is good. The original score is magic. You feel the magic.
Gunn even managed not to needle drop as much? Dude, the one thing I do think that James Gunn does is he plays music too much, and he really didn't that much. He played it near the end of the movie, which is like when you get to. Like he didn't have all those like moments. You know what though? I still think Thor Ragnarok, when Immigrant Song hits, I still think that's perfect. It's really great. Still hits.
And Superman flies in the original score. Like, what are you doing? Okay, then we get to the actual politics. So I know this is what people are waiting for. They're waiting for my political rip on this film. So we've been told this is a movie about illegal immigration. Not really. Honestly, like you have to look to find that. There's one line where Clark is saying, "Aren't you going to read me my rights?" James Gunn's politics is so ham-handed, like truly ham-handed, that it doesn't even read as political, it just reads as stupid. So there's a moment where Clark, he's being arrested, and he says, "Aren't you going to read me my rights?" And one of the members of the government says, "Well, you're now considered an enemy alien, right? You don't have any rights because you're not an
General Rick Flag? Come on, man.
American." All right. Like, if that's supposed to be some sort of like anti-ICE sentiment, it's really weak. Also,
yeah, I mean, I guess it was just against the idea of labeling people as not valuable due to their like born origin, and rather that like their character, and like, you know, we should just uphold rights for everybody. But like, yeah, the movie wasn't about fuck ICE. I'm pretty sure that Superman would punch ICE officers, for instance. Like he would defend them.
Also,
defend the people that they're kidnapping.
legally incredibly stupid, considering that he came to Earth as a baby and then was adopted by an American family, which would
Not like officially or anything, though. They just kind of have him.
make him American.
That was meant for the babies of slaves. It wasn't meant for people trying to scam the system and come into the country on a vacation.
I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
There's a suggestion that he says truth, justice, and the human way. I didn't catch that anywhere in the film. The sort of social media politics that social media is stupid and rigged by bots, which, I mean, I think everybody sort of agrees on at this point. And there's a really dumb visual joke where Lex has set up actual monkeys typing into computers as
That was funny.
his bots. It's like, oh, God. But that's so James Gunn. Again, it's all so... I can't... I just don't like James Gunn. I mean, just to be... And again, I'm one of the people who, when James Gunn was first fired from the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise in July 2018 over bad old tweets, I actually defended him at the time. So it's not about like anything personal with James Gunn. I just don't like his movies very much. The other politics of the situation are supposedly this foreign policy thing. So the left is suggesting that the foreign policy conflict in which Superman engages is a stand-in for Israel and the Palestinians.
It's not like 100% a stand-in for it. It is evocative of that because it is a similar situation where you have a corrupt government trying to force their way onto the land of people that are indigenous to a space, and then Superman stops them.
Or alternatively for Russia and Ukraine. So let me give you the geopolitical setup. The geopolitical setup here is that there is a country called Boravia, and this country called Boravia is run by essentially a corrupt dictator who's working with Lex Luthor, and it invades another sovereign country, Jarhanpur. Okay, and so Superman's...
And Palestine isn't a sovereign country, and so therefore, like, this is where his Zionist brain is going.
Stops that at the very beginning. Okay, like, and doesn't show him stopping it. He talks to Lois Lane about it. Fine. Okay, the idea is geopolitically that Boravia has been a longtime ally of the United States. Jarhanpur is a country where we don't know who it's allied with.
Yep.
And it may or may not be run by jihadis, but we don't know. Like, we don't know who it's run.
Jihadis. The line is, and Jarhanpur hasn't always been friendly to the United States as well, to say the least. And Superman is like, I don't care. They were killing people. I'm going to protect the people that they were killing.
Run by, it doesn't matter. The only reason that Clark stops it, that Superman stops it, is he says because
People were going to die.
which, as we'll get to in sort of my final breakdown of why this movie doesn't work and why no really good Superman movie has been made since '78.
What did he say?
I'll explain in a moment. The people of Jarhanpur are brown.
Look at my African American over here.
The people of Boravia.
That's not what an African American is right. So, wow. The editor of this is making Ben Shapiro look even more racist, which is pretty tough.
Are white. Okay, so this is why the left is reading this as Israel of the Palestinians. The reason it doesn't work that way is because we are not made aware that the people of Jarhanpur are either wildly terrorism supportive, that they have participated in multiple terrorist attacks on the people of Boravia. They are led by a corrupt dictatorship that murders gay people, right? None of that's in the movie. So it doesn't match up that way. And the idea that
Oh, yeah, he's doing his Palestine propaganda, I see. Well, anyway, so Superman definitely is not on the side of Israel in the movie.
Boravia is Israel in this iteration, like a longtime U.S. ally that's randomly invading countries for territorial gain.
Yeah, that's not a thing that Israel does.
It does not match up to any of the facts on the ground that we know of at all.
Yeah, so I think this is Ben Shapiro being in so much denial about the reality of Israel that he is incapable of seeing the critique that is thrown right in his fucking face in the movie, like out loud.
That is not.
You should go watch it.
It's not real.
Chad.
So maybe in left-wing brain, that's how it reads. I could see if you're a left-winger and you don't
like James Gunn. You could see how if the director of the movie was left-wing and he was making this movie, how that could be his message.
Know anything about the situation, or you think a bunch of false things. You could read that maybe. You could also read this as Russia-Ukraine because it's one sovereign country that's invading another sovereign country, and because the leader of Boravia has a Russian accent. So I guess that if you have like poison left brain.
Poison left
Russians
brain.
are nuking us. Go! Go, go, go!
Metaphor escapes him so much. Like these are like caricatures of evil authoritarian regimes. And James Gunn very smartly used like Russian evil guy as a proxy for the Israeli sort of metaphor that I guess he's going for.
Come on, come on! The missiles are coming! They've lost their mangoes! Get to the gym!
What the fuck is happening?
But you certainly don't have to read it that way. And I'm not going to read it that way because it's stupid and it doesn't make any sense politically.
I'm just not going to engage with what James Gunn said, because then that would mean that Superman says fuck Israel. And he does.
Makes no sense. Okay. So this brings me to my final point about this movie and all other Superman movies. The fundamental flaw in all Superman movies of my lifetime is the thing that Hollywood cannot say and will not do.
Politics. Does he still stand for truth, justice, all that stuff?
The only Superman movie that I have ever seen that uses truth, justice, and the American way is the original 1978 Superman.
And that's what makes the movie good? This is what makes the movie good?
Fight for truth and justice in the American way.
This is not just a throwaway line. It is deeply important to the character of Superman. Why? Well, because take Superman just as...
Right, but when Superman says that, traditionally, it's a naive statement because he does go on in all manner of ways throughout the years of comics and movies and everything. He disagrees with whatever the American way would be. He disagrees with the American government on multiple occasions. In some iterations, he takes over the whole fucking thing and rules it.
As a character, Superman is unbelievably powerful, unstoppable. He's faster than anyone. He has X-ray and laser vision.
Save that doggy.
He's stronger than anyone, right? He's basically a god on Earth, and the biggest god on Earth. He's Zeus, right? He can do whatever he wants. And so, why is he the good guy? Why isn't Lex Luthor right? Because, let's be real, if there were a person on Earth who actually had those powers, Americans would rightly be very much afraid of that. Correctly. As Federalist 51 suggests, you need ambition to counteract ambition. If any one person had ultimate power, what you're really talking about is a philosopher king. And that's...
So, Ben, square that with your authoritarian view on how government and hierarchy should be structured. If you can identify that centralizing power in one or few individuals is bad, how come down the line, like downstream, your thoughts don't reflect that?
That's pretty scary because that person could be a dictator, simply doing whatever they want to the world.
So you're saying that you agree with Lex Luthor, the villain of the movie, that says we should kill Superman because he could be evil, because you can conceive of what you would do if you had Superman powers. As we can see, it took Ben 17 minutes to realize that he is the bad guy in real life.
The only reason why Superman would be a hero as opposed to a villain is because he grew up in America.
Yeah, otherwise he would be really evil. If you grow up in America, then you're good. Jesus.
Go.
Okay.
He has the American way, right? He's emblematic of what America is.
He disagrees with what America does and wishes for America to better follow his values. And so he exerts his will on the system enough to make, at least in one scenario, it work toward how he values the world.
May blunder, may make mistakes, but overall stands for freedom and liberty and private property and free speech and all of those things.
Private property comes before free speech for Ben Shapiro.
All that stuff.
Right, all the good American stuff. There's a great comic book called Superman Red Sun. It's an alternative universe in which Superman's capsule from Krypton lands in Soviet Russia.
Oh boy.
He grows up as the emblem of Soviet Russia, and he's evil. Because he grew up in Soviet Russia. Because if you give that power, that amount of power, to an evil ideology, then evil ensues. So,
evil? He isn't even evil in it.
So this is why it's really important. It's not just truth, justice, and the human.
He's the same fucking guy with an accent? Amazing.
Way, or truth, justice, and all that good stuff.
The whole point of Red Sun is that he's still a good guy.
There's a specific definition of Americanism that says that this is why America, for example, should be a world power, because America is better than other countries.
Okay, but it's not. It doesn't do better than other countries. You have to do better than other countries to be better than them.
And people who live in accordance with Americanism make the world better if they have more power.
I disagree. That is a really weird thing to say. Like, if an American has more power, it is good. It's so weird. How do you even get there? It is better for an American to have power than any other nationality. Okay.
That's why America is good. Because otherwise, Superman is bad, and Lex Luthor is right, and we should restrict his power.
If he's not American, he's bad. That's fucking crazy. I don't even know how to get your brain that melted. That is a fucking insane thing to say. Inherently good if American? then why was America funding an ethnic cleansing? I don't know. Because Ben Shapiro thinks some ethnic cleansings are good.
And we should jail him. And we should check and balance him. And we should not let him be free. The problem is that Hollywood cannot say the American way because they don't believe in the American way. They don't believe that America is unique. They don't believe in these American basic values and
the basic values of like having everybody who wants to be an American have the opportunity to come here and succeed. That Americanism? Because I'm for that, but you don't want that to fucking happen. You say that being American is like a virtue or whatever, and I mean I really think that being an American, what it takes is for you to live here and to be a member of one of the communities in it. That's it. That's what being an American is. So if you are a member of a community in America, you're an American. You can even be a loner. You don't got to be social with that group.
Principles and rights. They have a hard time even with the idea that like the values of Ma and Pa Kent back on the farm are values that ought to be promulgated in the best of all possible circumstances. And so what they come away with in kind of the key moment in this movie, for example, is Pa Kent telling Clark that parents don't make missions for their kids, right? They don't make their kids kind of what they are in terms of what they should be. They give kids the tools to choose what they want to be, and then those choices make those kids what they are. Okay, that's kind of half true and half not. Of course, you give your kids the tools to make choices in life. But you also try to define the mission your kid should have in life.
Of course, a right-winger would say that. So yeah, you're just wrong. You're a bad parent. You're just a bad guy. So I disagree. You should not be trying to push your kid in any sort of path. You should encourage them to do things that they like to do and that are good for them. You know, you can tell if your kid likes something or not.
You have to go do this because it makes money.
How about you just fucking be happy, brother?
Maybe the most important thing you do as a parent, direct them in a world of choices at what is the ultimate good, what is the ultimate goal.
Disagree that that's what you should be doing. What is the ultimate good? Whatever you decide it is. How can you tell what's good for somebody else? For everyone to live the exact same life is pretty weird. Everyone's going to live exactly their unique life. There's just no way to control. Right-wing people are so unnatural. Can we talk about that more often? How unnatural it is for right-wingers to try to control and manipulate how people act all the time? That's what they want, ultimately. It's so fucking freakish.
Hollywood is not run by people who believe that there is such a thing as an ultimate good or an ultimate goal. It's run by moral relativists who have a kind of, at best, soft-pedaled, generic, be nice attitude toward the world, which...
No, not being nice. Those fucking idiots. Ugh, I can't believe they're like, hey, we should be kind to each other. Fucking losers. How does he make it this far? The only reason he has made it this far is the kindness of others.
Which is why Superman's defense of intervening in this foreign conflict is...
People were going to die.
Okay, well...
Yeah.
People would die on the other side, presumably, if you didn't intervene.
Do you mean if he did? Yes. You can defend someone from violence. They were shooting at kids, Ben, which I know he doesn't give a fuck about.
Or people die every day in conflicts all over the world.
Uh-huh. And Superman tries to stop them when he is aware of them and has the ability to do so. Like, yep.
Right? The reason that Clark or Superman is supposed to intervene is because one side is right and one side is wrong.
Right. That's what he did. Correct.
And unless you are willing to simply say that all foreign policy situations in which people die under any circumstances are equivalent, which I don't think is right, then you end up in this kind of weird generic place.
I guess I just don't think stopping a genocide is bad, Ben. Yeah. You can't just fucking roll tanks into someone's community.
The central question of Superman has never really been handled by any movie, and it's certainly not handled here, which is why should one person be given this much power? And
be given this much power? He wasn't given this much power. He has this much power. It wasn't given to him, like, other than by the circumstances of his birth. He just has it. The point of Superman is, what does a man who has all this power do? And the answer for Superman is he's just so good at every turn. He always makes the good decision. I love the idea of him being met with two decisions that he feels are equivalent and seeing how he handles that. My presumption is that he would outsource that to friends he's made along the way. Because that's just how he is. He makes friends. He's invulnerable. He can run really fast and has laser eyes and has breath, but really his real power is his unbridled and unfettered conviction about being kind until you're forced to like take action. You know what I mean? Like really, really liking life. When Ben Shapiro says that he saves a chipmunk, he's wrong. Superman saves a squirrel. Okay? Superman saves a squirrel in the middle of a fight, and it's great. He's an iconic character for a reason, and instead of having a typical character arc where like he finds out that he's wrong or whatever, like it's pretty much the people around him that find out that they're wrong and that being kind is actually the play. It's good shit, man.
And the answer is he shouldn't, unless he is essentially just a metaphor for what makes America awesome, which is what Superman was designed to be. This is why Superman in the original comics is punching Hitler.
Uh-huh. And you like that because when people genocide, they should be punched, right? When people commit genocides, Ben Shapiro?
Because he is the American way and not the German way or the Soviet way or the Chinese way, which are different things. So, again, that is the fatal flaw, I think, for pretty much all Superman movies. But in this one specifically, they don't even bother with any of that. It's cotton candy. You'll watch it. Maybe you'll enjoy it. Maybe you'll be like me and be overcritical. You'll walk away. 2 days later, you won't be thinking about the movie. 2 hours later, you won't be thinking about the movie. Nothing about the movie is going to stick with you. The hero of the movie is the dog. Superman has to be saved multiple times by this, like, not particularly good dog.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's a good boy, though. That's the point. He's a good bad boy, like I said.
I mean, he's a good doggo, I suppose, but he really is badly behaved, this dog. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, my overall...
Kindness is punk rock is something I think about all the time now. It's a little corny, but I think kind of like, also, this movie is like... You remember when corniness and earnestness were kind of like the same thing? You remember when, like, they can be both. You can be corny and really earnest at the same time. And I appreciate that. Like, there's a genuine sort of, like, it's okay to be nice to people.
2 out of 5 stars.
Disagree. 4 out of 5.
Meh. I think that the stars do their best with bad material given to them by James Gunn.
The worms going in through the mouth and helping him as he's sobbing. And, you know, he was it's kneeling at the end of the bed, and I was on the other side of the bed for that whole time.
Good job by David Corn.
I don't know why what do they think those clips are telling us? Like, what is the point of showing out of context James Gunn speaking about his art? Like, I don't know, man.
Corn Sweat. Good job by Rachel Brosnahan. Good job by Nicholas Hoult. Good job by Eddie Gathegi as Mr. Terrific. Superman, as I say, super meh.
8 out of 10, and frankly, if your comic book movie is better than an 8 out of 10, it's probably not going to sustain itself. I don't know. I feel like this was like in its pocket so good. It was a good comic book movie. It was refreshing. After years of like Marvel and grimdark DC stuff, the James Gunn push with this new wave of DC content has been very good. If you haven't seen some of the other stuff, Creature Commandos is very good. Peacemaker is really good. Another season's coming out. The Suicide Squad movie was really good. Can confirm all of those things have been fantastic. I'm looking forward to it. And what I'm really looking forward to, and what Sarah and I were talking about, Dr. Randy were talking about on the way out of the movie theater, is I am very excited to see this Boy Scout, goody two-shoes, kind of a himbo, cute Superman talking with James Gunn's interpretation of Batman, who I assume is going to be very severe and going to be very like, my parents are dead, and logic is, I'm using science. And he's also here knowing that he's got to take down Superman someday, maybe. But also like Hal Jordan and Barry, the Flash. Like, I want to see that. I want to see the take on Wonder Woman now that he's killed the Gal Gadot stuff. And we get a new Wonder Woman. Ooh, and I don't want to spoil it for you, but Supergirl has an appearance, and it's very, very good. Some people know about it already, and I'm looking forward to whatever that fucking storyline is, because that looks fun. So, in fact, I'd watch that whole ass movie, or whatever is going on there. Seems fun. It is a very good movie. I'm just really pumped about it. I think everyone should go see it. Also, David Corn Sweat. Excellent casting. Absolutely excellent casting. He does a great job in this.